Hey y'all, it's Chels with Cooking with Chels, and today we are making bourbon glazed meatballs. These are going to be perfect as a snack or a meal for the week. This is gonna come together with a great bourbon glazed sauce, and it's gonna be sure to please. So let's get into how to make it. First, we're gonna get started by prepping our meatballs. I am going to sweat down my bell pepper, onion, I have a shallot, and I have a little bit of roasted garlic. I'm gonna sweat that down and then we'll add it to our ground beef later. I do have ground beef and ground pork, so we're gonna do like a mixture. For a ratio, it's probably about 60 to 70% of ground beef to about 30 to 40% of ground pork. So we are just going to cut up our bell pepper and onion, and we are going to cut it up really, really small, okay? We don't want thick, chunky pieces in our meatball, so we want to make sure that we can get them as small as possible. One thing about it, I am not the best at cutting, but I know that about myself, so it's okay. Oh, woo, y'all. I'm doing this for y'all. Oh, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for y'all too. All right, so now we have our bell pepper, onion, and our shallot cut up, and we're gonna head to the stove and we're gonna saute these down and just let them get nice and soft. So now we are going to add in our bell peppers and onions. There we go. All right, y'all, so we are gonna add some roasted garlic bouillon paste to this mixture, and we're just gonna let it sweat down. The roasted garlic or any of the bouillon paste that you find in the store, it's definitely gonna elevate your dish. There's a chicken bouillon, a beef bouillon, and a roasted garlic bouillon, and this adds so much flavor. So if you've ever seen this in the store, or if you've never seen this in the store, definitely pick some up. It's gonna elevate your dishes, I promise you that. When I say a little scoop, this is what I mean. Also gonna add in a little bit of Tony's, a little bit of my Taylor's dip dust. Adding seasonings at this step is just gonna elevate the flavor in your dishes. So they're starting to get soft and cook down. So maybe another 2 to 3 minutes. Now we are about to start putting together our meatballs. So we are adding in some ground beef. And then we are going to add in our ground pork. Now it's time to get down and dirty. We are going to add in our peppers and onions. And I think I actually might cut up one more, because this is a lot of ground beef and ground pork, and I just want to make sure that every bite is full of flavor. So I'm going to actually cut up another half of a bell pepper and another half of an onion, and I'm going to add it to this mixture. So we are just going to mix everything until the peppers and the meat are well combined, and then I'm going to split this into 2 bowls just so I can make sure that I am adding enough seasonings and breadcrumbs and everything else that we're going to add to the mixture. I just want to make sure I add enough. So we are going to split it up as soon as we mix everything together. The idea was to make enough so I can also put some in the freezer. So if I get hungry throughout the week or maybe next week, I'll have meatballs in the freezer. Yeah, y'all want to get down up in there, okay? And now we're just gonna add a little bit to this bowl. I feel like I can make a meatloaf. We're gonna add in some Tony's. Can't forget about this one. All right, some Taylor's dip dust. And I found some honey barbecue seasoning by Jack Daniels. And I also have some of this Jack Daniels chicken rub seasoning. So we're gonna add a little bit of this too. The seasoning is new, and I love to smell my new seasonings, but I feel like if I smell this seasoning, it's gonna be a wrap, y'all. I'm not gonna be able to stop sneezing, and I don't need that right now. And then of course I gotta add my roasted garlic paste and my Italian herbs paste. We're gonna add some breadcrumbs and some eggs as well. So this is gonna help everything stick together. I eyeballed that. That's about half a cup. And 2 eggs. Right, now we are just gonna mix everything together. Make sure you mix everything really, really well, you guys. The egg and the breadcrumbs are just gonna help everything stick together. We used our seasoning, so we wanna make sure it gets all throughout this mixture so every meatball is flavorful. I highly suggest wearing gloves because you do not wanna get this under your nails, especially for my ladies. So now we are just gonna take some scoops of the mixture and we're gonna roll them together just like this. You can make these how little or however big you want. Okay, so now our meatballs are finished. I do have my oven on 375. These are ready to go into the oven. I have 20 meatballs here. I'm gonna continue to roll the other meatballs, but I am going to probably keep those in the freezer. So let's make these and get started on that bourbon glaze. Next, we're gonna start on our bourbon glaze sauce. I have a bottle of Jim Beam honey. I love this stuff. I buy it all the time. I always have some in my home. And I thought, what perfect bourbon whiskey to add to my sauce than Jim Beam honey. So definitely pick some up. But before we add any to the pot, we're gonna take a shot for good luck. Whew, that's a lot. Cheers, friend. Let's get started. So we are gonna start off with, let's do half a cup. Now we're gonna add a cup of brown sugar. Yes, that much, okay? A little bit of ketchup, it's probably like 1/4 cup. Add some woo-woo sauce, just let the spirit lead you. And a little more of that Jack Daniel's barbecue honey seasoning. And we're gonna add a little bit of honey. And just a splash. And I'm gonna add a little bit of my all-purpose Saison seasoning. Now let's check on our meatballs. It's been about 40 minutes, so I just wanna see how they're doing in the oven. And they look like, oh, they're doing pretty good. We're gonna leave it right there. We don't want no problems. There we go. So let's just flip them. All right, now that our meatballs are done, it is time to ladle them in the sauce. Look at these meatballs, y'all. Look at this. It's perfect, it's perfection. Okay, I love my meatballs to be a little tough on the outside, okay? I wanna be able to bite into it. Okay. And we are just gonna pour that bourbon glaze over the top. Y'all, these look so amazing. I've tasted the meatball, I've tasted the sauce, and now I get to try it all together. Let's try it. It's hot. Look at the steam coming from it. It's perfect. It is so good. The sauce is a little tangy, it's a little spicy, but everything is just well balanced and it came together. Like, these are perfect. You guys gotta try this one out. These are delicious.